More analysis. Our international affairs editor Philip Turle is with me in the studio. Philip, welcome to the programme. Is this just a symbolic decision by Norway, Ireland and Spain to recognise the state of Palestine? And what do you read into the timing of it?
Well, I think that it's pretty clear that there is growing frustration with the Israeli government and in particular with Benjamin Netanyahu. And this is a way of upping the pressure on the Israeli Prime Minister. If you listen to what Pedro Sanchez has said today, the Spanish Prime Minister, he said this is not a criticism of Israel or the Israelis. It is not an endorsement of Hamas, which means pretty much that he's pointing the finger at one person, and that's Benjamin Netanyahu. So this is a way of saying, OK, you've got the ICC, which is mulling over whether to issue an arrest warrant for you. That was announced on Monday. Now we're upping the pressure. These three countries have obviously coordinated this announcement for today. That they've had enough. They're frustrated with what's going on. They want an end to the standoff in Gaza. They want the prisoners liberated, and they want aid to be led into Gaza. So this is a way of them saying, OK, we're going to stack more pressure on the shoulders of Benjamin Netanyahu because basically we don't believe that he has an intention of ending the war anytime soon and has the protection of the prisoners in the hands of Hamas at heart. So I think that's what one needs to read into this. And the other underlining factor is that this is another way of these three countries stacking the pressure on the Israeli government to move towards a two-state solution. By recognizing Palestine as a state, that means that they want the rest of the world to also move in that direction. Now, remember that a vast number of countries already recognize Palestine as a state. If you look at the UN, 143 of 193 UN members voted in favor of Palestine joining the United Nations. A country can only do that when it is a state. So there is this growing pressure on the Israelis to end this war and to come up with some kind of pathway forward with a long-term solution, and that ending with a two-state solution where Palestine is a country next to Israel.
OK, and just talk us a little bit through the process of one state recognising another. What are the actual criteria for that to happen?
Well, first of all of this was going to be worked out, the original plan, after a two-state solution was reached, if you go back to the Oslo Accords of 1993. So this is these three countries jumping the gun. They're not the only ones who've jumped the gun in the past, but the United States and other European countries say they want to wait until this is all sorted out before they then go ahead and recognise Palestine as an independent state. We've got two other countries that are also planning to do this at the moment. Slovenia and Malta have said they may join in as well. France has also given hints that it might join forces too to call for Palestine to be an independent state. But there's no mechanism for that to happen. According to the Montevideo Convention, which was held back in 1933, which worked out the criteria for becoming a state, there are several important factors that need to be achieved before that is possible. One is a permanent population. The second is a defined territory. The third is an effective government. And a state must be able to conduct international relations. There are already diplomats who are in contact with, for example, the Palestinian National Authority. There is no ambassador there, but there are moves towards recognising Palestine, even though the criteria that I just mentioned quite often by the United Nations is not respected, because it's not always the case that there's an effective government when there is a call for a state to be created. But I think this is definitely a move further down that line or down that lane, and it's certainly more pressure on the shoulders of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
OK, thank you very much indeed for that. Our international affairs editor Philip Turle.